Welcome to the core class. Today's class will wake you up to your core. A strong core is the foundation to your yoga practice as it allows you to enter into the more difficult postures. When you're ready, join me on your mat. Let's begin in seated. We're going to start today's class in plank pose. So first of all, line up through the shoulders, the wrist, elbows and shoulders. And when you're ready, step one leg back and the other into plank pose. So in plank pose, we stay here for 10 breaths, working from the wrists, everything in alignment, working down the body so your back is protracted, your shoulders are pushing up towards the ceiling, your ribs are tucked in. Really bring your belly button back towards your spine. Engage in the core, engage in the glutes, engage in the thighs, lifting up onto your tiptoes and holding it for as long as possible. If it is quite strong for you to begin with, then drop one knee down or two knees down and do your variation. Moving now into side plank, Vashisthasana. Again, lining up your wrist, your elbow and your shoulder. Your knee drops down. You can hold it here, or if you have the strength, you could stack your feet, stack your hips and your shoulders in one clean line of energy, warming up the whole of the body. Before we begin our core sequence, we have 3 flows in this class. You can bring your palm up towards the ceiling, dropping that knee down if it gets too much. Really squeezing your side body, lifting your ribs towards the sky. Holding this one as well for 10 breaths before you move over and transition to the opposite side. So again, you can either start with your knee down or you can begin straight away with both feet stacked. Vashisthasana, side plank on the opposite side, on your left side. Lifting those hips, trying to keep those hips so they're stacking on top of each other. Stacking the shoulders, looking down towards the palm. Breathing deeply. And again, taking that knee down if it gets too much. Beginning our first flow, we begin in side plank. So lining up, put all the weight on the outside of the top leg, bring your inner knee in towards the tricep and extend. In and extend. It's quite a challenging exercise. We do this for 10 times. Maybe you can work your way up to it if it's too much too soon. Knee extension. Using the breath, transitioning to the opposite side, keep the knee up, lift the knee, lift the arm, extend and stretch and bring the elbow towards the knee as you're holding your side plank. Again, 10 times. Using the breath, pushing the weight into the wrist, into the elbow, holding yourself up. 10 repetitions. After 10, hold it here, extend the leg, reach for the toe, stretching through the hamstring in your active rest. Keep that knee up, transitioning back to a plank position. The knee comes to the tricep, to the wrist, to the tricep and extend. Tricep, lower down and lift. Tricep, wrist, tricep extension. Again, if it gets too much, begin to build up. Take the knees down and push back into extended child's pose. Going back into 3-legged plank pose. Reaching across to the opposite tricep. Knee to the opposite tricep. This time only 5 times. Making a square with that knee, a square pattern. So tricep and to the wrists. both triceps, both wrists, making a square with the knee, working through the core. Well done, resting it back into child's pose. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. Preparing the body. Let's go. Let's begin in your side plank, Vashisthasana. This time on the left hand side. The weight goes onto the right outside foot. Bring the left knee towards the tricep and extend. 10 repetitions. Trying to keep the wrist, the elbow and the shoulder in alignment, looking down towards the hand. Knee to tricep, extension. Hold that knee up as you switch over to side plank on the opposite side. Extend the leg and the arm, then elbow towards the knee. And if at any point it's too much, you can drop down onto your elbow. Arm extension, leg extension, working through the side muscles, the side core. Leg extension, reaching for the toe, active rest. Hold that leg up, knee, tricep, wrist and extension. So it's tricep, wrist, tricep, extension. You've got a rest coming up, try and do as many as you can. Here we go, extended child's pose. Nearly there, nearly at the end of our first flow. This core class is your foundation and it is challenging. Back into your three-legged plank, knee to the opposite tricep. Working through the side body, just 5 times before we make our square pattern with our knee. So triceps and wrists, wrists, wrist, tricep, tricep, 5 times, making a square pattern with the knee. And relax, well done. Moving into knee, chest, chin, just to complete through your first flow, upward facing dog. Pushing back into downward facing dog. Just resting here for a few more breaths. Pushing those heels into the floor. Stretching out the spine. Prepare to jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale. Exhale, folds. Keep the knees bent. As you lift the arms towards the sky, elbows in towards the heart center, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core. Moving now into your second flow. Take a drink if you need to. Inhale, raise the arms overhead into your baby back bend. Exhale, folding forward. Plant those palms down, nose towards the knee. Inhale, lift. Hands towards the shins, exhale, stepping back into your plank. Knees comes down, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga, upward facing dog. Lift the thighs, roll the toes over into downward facing dog. Hop forward and we're going to begin in our Dandasana. So extend the legs, flex the feet, flex the toes, fingertips towards the feet and lengthen the arms, lift the chest. All you're doing in this exercise is gently lifting one foot off the ground, engaging the core, breathing and looking towards your toe as your drishti, your focus point for the eyes, exchanging feet, so lifting the opposite leg, keeping balance, keeping focus, using the breath, engaging the core, building strength. Inhale, squeeze that tummy, exhale, inhale, breathing deeply. Plant the feet onto the floor, moving into boat pose, Navasana. Different variations, so making sure that you are keeping your spine straight, so don't collapse the spine when you come back. You can keep your hands down and you can lift one leg and then the other, alternate leg lifts. Just preparing the body for the full or half boat pose. This is your half boat pose. So you're lifting the heels in line with the knees, or you're full, your legs are extended straight and your arms are extended straight. Maybe go to the half. Lower to low boat. Lift to half boat. Plant the feet down, lifting the hips into dancing dog variation pose. Lift the heart center, lower the hips straight into your boat pose. So you're in your half boat, your low boat, lift, and then the opposite leg, opposite arm goes over your head, alternating arms into your dancing dog pose. Pressing down, lifting the hips, circling the arm overhead, stretching out the core, strengthen the core, low boat, half boat, and lift, circle the arm overhead, sweeping the arm into a circular motion. Engage in the core, sweeping round, opening the shoulder on the way round. Half boat, low boat, squeeze and lift the hips. Push all the weight into the heels as you lift the heart. Lower down, engage, well done. Circle the arm overhead, so even look towards the palm if you can. Squeeze the feet in, squeeze the knees in towards the chest. You can step or jump back into your chaturanga. Knees come down, knees, chest, chin. Sweeping up, upward facing dog. Engage the core as you curl the toes over into downward facing dog. Breathe in deeply. Prepare to step or jump to the front of the mat. Extend the spine. Squeeze the chest towards the thighs. Keep the knees bent. Lift the energy. Namasté. That's your second flow complete. Moving to your third flow. One more to go. Inhale. Focus on your breath. Exhale. Elbows lead the way. Plant the hands down onto the floor. Inhale, lift the energy, straighten the spine. Stepping back into your high plank. Chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Upward facing dog. Rolling back into downward facing dog. Back into your plank, lower your knees. Lower your forearms down into dolphin plank or forearm plank. Extend one leg back and then the other. Lower the hips down. Again, making sure you're keeping your neck nice and long. Protracting through the shoulders, so lifting the shoulders towards the ceiling. Pulling in the ribs, pulling in the core. Engaging the glutes, engaging the thighs. Breathing here deeply. Into your dolphin plank. We hold this for 10 breaths. Steady breaths, steady mind. Squeeze that core, keeping the hips in line with the shoulders. Before we move into dolphin pose. Again, if it gets too much for you too soon, drop the knees down and then lift them when you're ready. Walking the feet in towards the body, into dolphin pose. Keeping the arms and the arms shoulder width apart. Pushing into your forearms and hovering the knees. So you're going to hover and then lift into dolphin. Hover the knees and then lift. You'll feel this in the back of your hamstrings. You'll feel it in your triceps, in your shoulders, in your hamstrings and your spine. So low and lift into little hovers and then back to dolphin pose. Hover and press. Walking back into your dolphin plank. Preparing for our next exercise, next asana. Slowly working around the side body, so you're dropping the hips from side to side. You're keeping the chest still, but your hips are dropping as much as you can towards the floor. Working through the side body, dropping the hips. Keep pressing into the forearms. You might be starting to get a little bit fatigued. You've got a few minutes left of the class. Really use the breath. Try and keep the hips lower. Final exercise before we finish today. Just extend back into extended child's pose and relax before we move into our side plank lift and lowers. Final exercise. Final bit of work for today. So you can stay onto your knee, or again you can stack your feet and raise your arm, and you're doing tiny pulses, lifting, lowering the hips. So you're working through the side body, lower and lift. And then transition over to the opposite side. Lift and lowers on the opposite side. Again, coming down onto the knee or stacking the feet and stacking the hips. They're only very small micro movements, but they make a big difference to your side body as you enter into the more demanding postures. Having a strong side body and a strong core really helps with progressing with handstands and any of the inversions that follow. And especially the balancing postures, which you'll find when you come to do your balancing class towards the end of the program. Come back to the center, drop the knees back, again resting out in extended child's pose. Drop the forehead down, maybe even place your chest between your thighs, so open the thighs and relax there. Your work's complete. Just going to quickly stretch out the core in our camel prep. So take the hands to the spine, engage the glutes and lift the chest. Pull those elbows together in camel pose, looking forward. Breathing deeply, stretching out the core. Keep engaging the glutes. Making sure that you're protecting the lower spine. Sinking back into your heels, extending through the hands. Maybe even take the hands behind you towards your toes. Back into child's pose. You have now completed your core class. Well done. Thank you for joining me today. I wish you a lovely rest of the day. Namaste.